Alhambra Police Department isn't talking about a drug investigation that brought officers to Little Tokyo. Apparently, though, multiple people needed help after exposure to a hazardous substance. Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna live in Little Tokyo to explain.
Well, Christine, we called Alhambra Police multiple times, but no response, so we cannot figure out officially at least what happened. But you put two and two together. Basically, officers arrived here at this apartment complex in Little Tokyo, and not long after that, this white powdery substance wound up on the ground in front on the sidewalk. It's still closed to pedestrian traffic. A massive response to a hazardous material thrown out of a sixth-floor apartment onto the street below in Little Tokyo.
Alhambra PD is involved. We cannot speak on their behalf.
But LA City Fire could speak to the people sickened by the white powder that wound up on the sidewalk.
They found patients were suffering from unknown symptoms described as overdose type symptoms. There was a white powder that was found on the ground, so our firefighters quickly escalated. They upgraded this to a hazmat incident.
At least one patient was seen brought out of the building, clearly suffering as firefighters stabilized him before he was transported. In all, 3 people were taken to hospitals. First responders dealt with the sick before hazmat arrived. Once hazmat was on scene, crews approached the powdery substance to figure out what they were dealing with. The good news, despite the close contact,
there was no firefighter and no police injuries. However, we have been evaluating our firefighters and police officers for any exposure, and they've been going through some decontamination procedures just as a precaution.
Ultimately, it was determined to be drugs on the sidewalk, but what specifically was not disclosed. Decontaminating the area required spraying the sidewalk and gutters with water, then hours later retesting to determine if any residue of the drugs remained.
Once that's determined to be clear, then we can start returning people back into their homes.
All right, and we understand that they will retest again. As you see that the sidewalk is still closed off. There is another entryway into the apartment complex, so people are able to get back into their home. But the good news is, if there is any, is that it was the 3 people in the apartment that were exposed to the drugs and needed medical assistance. Nobody else, no pedestrian, no driver driving by. So other than that, that's a situation here, but people are able to get back into their homes. Reporting live at Little Tokyo, I'm Susan Hirasuna, Fox 11 News.